super excited to talk to you this morning, Rose. Welcome to Los Angeles. How do you feel about being in our beautiful city, first of all?
Well, I'm a New Yorker by birth, and I have traveled all over the world, and I'm open to LA at this moment. A little bit nervous because I want to visit so many areas that will be away from Venice, where I'll be staying after this week. So I'm not used to not being able to walk out of my apartment in the West Village of New York, get on a subway or a taxi or an Uber. I know there are Ubers, so I'm going to be optimistic, but I'm shaking like a leaf inside. Really, I am.
Well, I think you can handle it. You have such an amazing, strong spirit. But let's talk about this film, this documentary that is just opens your mind to so many possibilities. First of all, I got so inspired by watching your documentary. Your strength really inspired me. Now, talk to me about any of one of the iconic males that you photographed that you just resonated with you.
David Bowie. I don't think I have to explain why. I photographed him once or twice alone, but basically he would be out at night with his gorgeous wife, Iman, who I also just adore. And I put them on the cover of a book called Incomparable Couples. And they look so glamorous. And I actually had a little argument with my book agent because they were not sure that they wanted that photo. And I said, you have to have it. And then he passed away. And I certainly had no idea that he was so ill. So that made it really even more special to me.
When you look at your film now, you've seen your film, obviously, right? When you look at the film, what?
Darling, in Barcelona, darling, in New York City. Yeah.
When you see yourself up there and you hear these stories, what comes to your mind when you're watching the film?
Well, I'm a very critical person. So, of course, when I'm watching certain things, I'm editing in my mind. Not that anybody has asked me, meaning Øtis did. In other words, he finished the film, and then I was able to see a preview. And on another level, I almost find that I'm watching someone else. And yeah, I mean, really someone else. I'm watching a person on the screen.
I love the scene where you are telling him, well, this is your film. I think it is so great. I just was, and you made your statement, and he just stayed in his space, and he's like, okay, and he's like, you sit the shut up. But it's great that you still had your voice and you were not afraid to share your voice. I love that.
Well,
Which is who you are.
thank you very much. Yes, it's who I am, and I'm never afraid in any situation, which is, I guess, why I could swim at the Viceroy yesterday. Maybe now they'll come after me. But, I just joined everyone at the pool, and I thought, hell, it's only water. So, but I need to do that because that's my exercise. So it's not like a lighthearted thing. It's really important.
What would you like audiences to come away with when they sit down and they see this film and they leave? What would you hope for?
Well, perhaps they might really understand the great struggle to become a documentary photographer in a male-dominated industry, as I've said many times. And the men were not there to be friendly. They, honestly, they would push a woman to the ground. Yes, and I think it's even worse now. There were fewer photographers, but there were still enough. And they never did that to me, but there was always that possibility. So I want them to also notice that I have captured some of the most famous people in the world, basically in New York, because when I'm shooting, let's say in India, I'm not shooting any famous person, and that they have that history to appreciate.
Well, I do appreciate the film. I came away with personally to be stronger. I love your spirit, and I was like, you know what? She can do it. I can just be as bold. So thank you for helping me remember my strength as a woman. So I really appreciate your film, and I'm so happy I met you. So if you could describe your documentary in 3 words, what would be the 3 words you would use?
Oh my God. the story of a female photographer in New York, the toughest city in the world.